And my guest today runs Olizzi Olive Oil Company in Turkey and in the USA, and she's a professional olive oil taster. She's an industrial engineer with marketing experience, and she's a food enthusiast and one of the authors of the book Grab a Bite of Istanbul. Wow, I fancy that all right. And in its own native language called Yerim Seni İstanbul. I'm delighted to welcome and introduce AJ Aydin.
Hi,
AJ.
hello. Thank you for your invitation.
Yeah,
It's
I'm delighted to be speaking to you. Food, everybody loves food, so we have to talk about that. But as you know, we'll take you back to your last year in school. And just, were you the person who was sort of academic? Did you want to travel? Had you a passion for something? And where were you going to start back then?
yeah, that's a great question, and I have a very clear answer to that. I was the person who wanted to get the experience. In our last year, we had this course where our alumni were visiting us, and one of them asked each of us what you want to be after the graduation in a month or so. And I answered, I want to be working at Coca-Cola in the marketing department. That was my answer. I was not able to get the job immediately after the graduation, but
All right.
after I first started in the IT department in a durable goods company, Beko actually, you might know. And then after
Yeah.
5 months, I started my role in Coca-Cola in the marketing department, and I spent 5 years there. I left as a product manager, and I had the greatest experience in marketing.
Wow. Well, I mean, something's quite interesting happening here that you have a very, very sort of fixed mind on where you want to go, which is different to most people. And so, therefore, with clarity of direction, you found it fairly quickly. Was that difficult? How did you make the sort of Coca-Cola thing happen for you?
I was always very interested in, I studied industrial engineering. I love engineering, and also, especially industrial engineering, you get the chance to have the idea of many other engineering studies and everything, and also management. But I was always very interested in marketing because I love the fact that there's actually a product that you create or a service, and you can change its design, the way it communicates with the customer. You can change the label, you can change the price point, you can be available in that store or the other store. And all these are changing the idea behind the brand and the way you communicate. It's very interesting. It has been very interesting to me, and I was always very passionate about especially touching the product, servicing it, and presenting it to different customers and getting their reaction and making another change, and then launching the product again. That was the greatest thing for me, and that's why I wanted to be in a big marketing company, and that's why I started my business as a marketer. And I'm saying that I'm still doing product marketing and product
Yeah.
management in my company.
I suppose the interesting thing, Coca-Cola is a recognized brand. So I suppose you also recognize the importance of building a brand.
Yeah, yeah, building a brand. Yes, I mean the way. So when it comes to creating the brand, from the moment you choose the name or start with the idea, you should be starting by thinking how my brand is gonna communicate. Does my brand say hi or hello? How does my brand sounds? And how does he or she look like? So there's too much to think and consider, but at the end you should have something in your mind, and that product should be fitting in the market in a specific way, like the other brands are not doing something. You should propose something that your competitors are not proposing by means of branding. I think that's what I tried to do. I wanted to create a brand that is energetic and intimate and nice and social, compared to other olive
Right.
oils in the market. They're usually more historical and heritage based, whereas our product is more dynamic and young and sounds energetic. That's what I'm trying to do with Olizzi, actually.
Right. Okay. So If we were to talk about branding for a minute, because I think our audience would be quite interested in it, most people sort of approach branding and only see a logo. What you're talking about, it's the personality behind the logo.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And from the logo to the to your post on Instagram to a single dot in your post, it changes the whole thing. I think. For example, you're posting a photo of a nice dish, nice dinner, maybe,
Yeah,
and whether you ask a question about the ingredient or you say something, or maybe you say, "Let's hang out tonight with Olizzi," something like that. Not all brands can say that. I mean, it's there's no good or bad. It's just the way you communicate your brand with your audience and where you want to be and how you want to sound. So if you use too many emojis and words that young people are more familiar with, then you have an audience who are younger probably, or maybe an audience that are interested in following brands that like young brands and energetic and dynamic brands like yours, and that changes everything. And I think the good thing is to create something new in the market, not to copy the competitors.
right. I mean, you were always interested in academia, so you completed your MBA, but you went to the USA to do that. Talk about these sort of differences in maybe culture and the marketplace in the USA compared to, say, Turkey, which would have given you two diverse views on what's happening.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So after Coca-Cola, I was always planning to have my MBA at some point in the United States. And after 5 years, I decided to go to Los Angeles, the Pepperdine University in Malibu, which was great. And I had the entrepreneurship focus during my studies. And I had the chance to see and observe the market, the specialty food market, because I'm interested in food, as I mentioned, with the book, with the places in Istanbul with my family heritage. Actually, father being a surgeon, always advising olive oil, extra virgin olive oil to his patients. Mom being a food engineer. I was living in the culture, and being a Mediterranean, of course, olive oil is everything. You use it for everything.
Sure.
But when I was in California. It was almost similar in California because people consume olive oil compared to the other um, states. However, when you look at the whole country, it's not the case. So that's why some part looks more like Mediterranean countries, but some parts they prefer butter, for example, or other oils.
Right.
That was something different. And also, the reason why I started the business again, especially in the USA, was that Turkish olive oil didn't have a recognition outside Turkey. And that was because Turkish producers underestimated the value of marketing and branding. They were just selling mostly in bulk without caring about the branding and their brand's presence in the other markets. They were just selling it as olive oil, not with a Turkish brand. That's why, unfortunately, although we are the fourth or fifth producer in the world every year with olive oil, we don't
Right.
have a recognition. That's why I wanted to get into the business, which was a disadvantage actually, which was a big challenge for me. But there are many brands getting awards like us. We have won.
Right.
Oh, by the way, we have won our fourth award last week from Japan with our taste. And so we are that's there are more brands, more Turkish brands now that are valuing marketing and branding outside Turkey. And that's why I wanted to start this business and position my brand as a young energetic Turkish olive oil brand. And hopefully I will launch other specialty food products in the future. Yeah, that
Right.
that was a difference between the markets.
I suppose then what you might call the traditional way of selling olive oil from Turkey would have been more based on price and volume, as opposed to finding a niche market for it.
Yes, yes, it was mostly like that. But now the game is changing, I think.
Right. I mean, people would be very familiar with Spain and Italy as olive oil producers. Why do you think the message about Turkey hasn't been as loud in the marketplace in the past?
I think, I mean, just forget about olive oil. We are the number one producer of hazelnut.
Right.
80% of hazelnut in the world is produced in Turkey. But when you think about hazelnut, you think of Nutella, for example. And Italians are great at marketing. I love the way they promote their products. I really respect them. I'm attending a school in Italy now. I've passed the first phase, and I'm soon to become, not soon, in 2 years, hopefully, to become a sommelier in olive oil tasting. I really like the way Italians promote themselves and their products. They write 100% Italiano. It's 100% Italian, they say
Right.
on the label. And they are proud of it. I think that's very important. That's why Italians are very good at marketing their specialty food products. They also have better connections in the USA.
Right.
I'm only speaking about USA because that's the market I'm more familiar with. I'm not that knowledgeable maybe about the rest of the world.
Sure.
Uh, but they have more contacts in Italy, for example, in the Italian context in the USA, for example. Also, the number one producer is Spain by far. I mean, there's a
Right.
big gap. I don't know, maybe 4 times. I'm not sure about the numbers right now. Uh, but everyone knows Italian olive oil before Spanish olive oil. So it's all about marketing, I'm saying. And it's all about delivering the different tastes of those greatest olive oils around the world. It's not about the country. It's about how you process olive oil, how you collect, if you handpick, how you cold press within, I mean, 4 hours, 12 hours. It's all about the process, and you can get a high quality olive oil from any olive in the world. So, and then after the production, if you have a high quality product, then it's all about marketing
All
those great tastes of olive oils.
Great. And if you're just joining us now, you're listening to me, Alec Drew, on You and Your Business on 103.2 Dublin City FM, where my guest today is AJ Aydin. All the way from Turkey, and we're talking about olive oil. And certainly, AJ, you have a passion for it, as I can hear coming across. But I'd like to focus a bit on marketing. In terms of your own country marketing, and I mean, Turkey wouldn't be different from many others, but um, what do you think is the resistance to people spending money in marketing in many of these countries? And I suppose even in our own here in Ireland, there's people who have a resistance to spending any money on marketing.
I think people who resist to spend money on marketing see it as an expense. However, it's an investment. Like many marketing people will agree with me, I think is the best investment you can make. If you can gain another customer, if you can gain another store, if you can gain another family, another region, that means a lot because it means recurring sales. If it's olive oil, it means more recurring sales. If it's a durable goods, it means after 10 years, if that family is gonna buy another washing machine, they will prefer you. It's something like that. I mean, it's not about the sale that you're making on that particular day, because you might have a longer conversion time
Right.
depending on your product and your market and what you're selling and which area you're announcing your promotion or your product. It's about that. I think it's about people seeing it as an expense or investment, but it's a big investment. And for example, in the USA, I'm doing some a good amount of marketing to announce my product and explain it to people, because especially today, I mean, getting another person follow your account is a huge thing. It
Right.
means that person, if they prefer you, if they look at you, if they like your product, like your post, and follow you, they might order your product, try it, and spread the word. Then it's again number one marketing tool, word of mouth, the most valuable thing ever. And with the social media now, it's getting more and more easy and also hard at the same time, because there are influencers who are actually trying your products and explaining it to their audience, which is, I think, a great value, because before that it was all about our friends and family, but now we have people to follow who we call influencers,
Yep.
or even our friends are influencing us through social media. So it's a huge thing, and we should agree on spending more on marketing if you want to be successful with our new brand.
Let me just take you back to your sort of first sale because you didn't start anywhere unfamiliar to people. I mean, Rodeo Drive is sort of known the world over. A, why there, and what was going through your mind when you walked in to get a meeting with the shop owner?
Yeah, yeah, that's I love that part of my story. It comes back to how I started Olizzi. I was studying at Pepperdine, and I was thinking of starting a food company, and I was thinking of olive oil. Now my husband, before that we were dating, and he brought some samples of olive oil from Turkey when he was visiting me in Los Angeles, and I was working on them with my entrepreneurship classes, and I was making projects out of them. How can I make a brand out of this? Which stores can I sell? All those marketing classes. And one day I wanted to see if this product, this Turkish olive oil product that I'm gonna make, will work or not.
Right.
And that's why I talked to some friends that in the class, and one of them was a wine importer, and she suggested me to visit some stores. I took my products with Selim, and we went to Beverly Hills and visited some very nice stores, and we
Yes.
were able to get a contact at the cheese store of Beverly Hills, which is a great store with delicious cheese from all over the world, and wines and all those olive oils, very premium. And we wanted to show our products, and Norbert, who is the owner of the shop and also a very famous identity actually in Los Angeles
Right.
with all the um, background, but I had no idea about him at that moment. And he wanted to try two of our products, and he ordered a case. He liked
Right.
it, and I was like, "Oh my god! I don't even have a brand. This product
Right.
is mine. It's just a sample, and how am I gonna fulfill this order?" But okay, I'm believing even more in my product, and I'm gonna do this because there are great premium products on the shelf. The other olive oils, I knew most of them, and my product is able to get there. So okay, I'm doing this. That moment I believed in the idea, and it was a great motivation for me. I couldn't fulfill that order for 2 years probably, because I had to start everything from scratch. I didn't even have my brand at that
Wow.
moment. But last March, like 2 3 months ago, I was in Los Angeles. I visited Norbert, and he already knew that story. And I was saying, "How are the sales going?" and blah blah. And he said, "Why don't you have a sampling here this weekend?" I was like, "Okay." We
Yep.
even the sampling, and now we are trying to expand more in Los Angeles, California, and in the USA. And that's the goal. That's our target market.
And if you're just joining us now, you're listening to You and Your Business with me, Alec Drew, on 103.2 Dublin City FM, where my guest today is AJ or Aydin from Turkey, and we're talking about Olizzi Olive Oil. It's an amazing story. A, the courage to go up and get into the place and sort of introduce the product, and then to be caught in a way that many entrepreneurs would resonate with, in the sense that, okay, you want to order and I can't fulfill it because I don't even have a brand.
Yes.
So, okay, so that you managed to get into the marketplace. Take me on the journey of the brand. So, the Elise brand, your thoughts behind it, and how did you engage with maybe designers or people, professionals, to help you create your logo and brand?
Yep. First, I had to decide on the name, and I thought about it for 3 months. and I'm not exaggerating. You could see in my apartment in Los Angeles on the walls maybe 1,000 different names and combinations that I worked on. I
Right.
wanted it to be unique, and I wanted it to be pronounced easily by anyone. And the first name I found was more like a Turkish name. I liked it, but then I realized that the classes and my classmates helped me a lot with that. Uh, and I realized that they were hesitating to pronounce name. You know, when you see a foreigner's name, you're kind of like maybe not trying to pronounce it wrong.
Yes.
It's an important thing, and I got that feeling, and I immediately wanted to change before I got all the trademarks and everything. So then I made a short list and did a questionnaire between my classmates, and they
Right.
all voted, and Olizzi was the winner. That's how it became. And I made the word like olive and lezzet. Lezzet means taste in Turkish. And I tried to combine these two and generate a unique name. It doesn't mean anything. It's a unique name. And then when I came back to Turkey, I worked on the packaging and everything. But I didn't start with my finished products. The product, the design in my mind, because I had to get things going somehow. You know,
Right.
the minimum viable product. I had to do something before the ideal thing. That's why first I had a very classical bottle, for example. I made the logo by scratching on my notebook. It's still here in a notebook here. I took
Right.
a photo, sent to a designer, and he converted it to a design for me. But it's the same thing that I drew on my notebook. And then I started with this classical bottle and started. My first goal was to start selling in the USA, but it
Right.
didn't work out as I expected. And after the COVID, things were so hard to get going. And then I decided, okay, then plan B. I cannot lose any time, any money, because I'm not generating any money. I'm just working all day and not getting a penny.
All right.
And that's a big problem. I have my olive oil. I have to sell it. So just start selling in Turkey. I'm here. I can do that. At least I will learn something.
Right.
And one day I will manage to fix things for the USA. And first, I started to sell in Turkey, which was not my plan. And then I started selling in Turkey. Then I managed to start selling in the USA, sent my stocks, started selling in the USA. And then I saw that design, and I got the reaction, just like I told you with the marketing. I put the product, got the reaction, made the changes, and relaunched it with the new design. You saw my product, so it was a classical bottle, but now it looks like that.
Yeah.
This was my dream, and I eventually came to that. And also, I learned from the Turkish market, and I applied that to the US market. Now I'm learning more in the US market, and so on. And we're just rolling like that, learning and going and changing things and fixing things.
So I suppose one of the key lessons from all of this is the need to be agile to respond to different markets and a different audience.
Yes, exactly, exactly. For example, now we're selling in the Japanese market as well, and my importer wants to see more videos and more videos with food preparation and different dishes that you use olive oil, and that's a whole other thing for different countries with different tastes, with different cuisines.
Sure.
You can apply olive oil. You can use olive oil in different things in different cultures and different cuisines actually. So you need to be agile. And I think another important thing is not to stick to the plan. Not, I mean, stick to the plan, but if it's not working, it's not working. Then you should be able to
Change the
continue
plan.
plan
Yeah.
B, and that other thing will eventually come to a solution. But I mean, I think it's important not to fall in love with the idea. You should be able to leave it at some point and maybe come back to it later. so that you have other things going on. In my case, I started selling, then I got the first award from Japan with my olive oil, and I was only selling in Turkey at that moment. And then it started happening. It was not the ideal product on that day. The product was good, but the package was not good. My social media was not that good. But now, for example, I'm starting my YouTube channel right now, so it's step by step. It's happening.
Great. I suppose in the 2 minutes we've left, will you tell me what's the future hold for you, AJ and Elise?
Yeah. So my plan when I was starting Olizzi was to create a superfoods brand, a specialty food brand, and I started off with extra virgin olive oil, which is I think the queen of all superfoods. It's a great product, and I love it. And I'm hoping to continue with other specialty food products like. Some spices, molasses, and I have so many plans in my mind. And I would
Right.
also love to, as you can see, I mean, I can talk about olive oil for hours. I can mention you the positive attributes and defects and how you can taste the differences. I'm so passionate about olive oil, but also I'm passionate about other specialty foods that make our food delicious. That's why I will be in the condiments area, I think, with other products.
And I suppose in the last 30 seconds we've got, what markets have you got your eyes set on now? Obviously the US, Japan, and Turkey, but where else would you like to be operating?
How do you think about Ireland? Should we be in?
Yes, well, we love our butter here, so that doesn't sound too good. But no, I think that market for olive oil is opening up here. We're a small market, but I think there's obviously opportunities.
Yeah, I would say Asian markets and also United Arab Emirates. I'm planning to go to an expo next year there, and always USA and Japan.